Right guys, welcome back to another episode of the Purpose Project. It's been a minute since I've done my last one. Currently, I'm not feeling very well. I'm a little bit under the weather. I've been away recently. We done a urban reform fitness retreat. It went amazing. Everybody loved it. We loved it. It was incredible. But whilst I was away, I started to get a bit of a cold. And I already planned to go and stay with my parents a few days after the retreat in Malaga. So I went there and I had a bit of a plan of what I was going to do whilst I was there. And one of the things I was going to do was record an episode of the Purpose Project. And because I was sick, basically just chilled and rested. And that's what I've been doing the past few days. However, I don't know, it just came over me. I was like, I really want to do an episode. I've been wanting to do an episode for a little while now. And for a number of reasons, it's not happened. The first thing was, if you remember from the last episode, me and Louis were just talking about Diabetes UK. We were talking about the fundraiser. We were talking about the 100-kilometre ultra in South Wales, and we've done that with Dan Sims as well, another member at the gym, and another top lad called Adam. It was fucking amazing. It was incredible. But that's what we were speaking about last time, and that whole journey. We were speaking about Louis' why and the reason why he's doing it, and my why and the reason why I'm doing it. And we had great feedback from that episode. It was really good. I enjoyed recording it. We had a top laugh. I think it was the longest one I've done so far. Usually I've been trying to keep them around a 30-minute window because I think that's nice for me. I think that's nice for the person listening like yourself, and I think it's nice for whoever I'm interviewing. But that one went on a little bit longer because obviously we're having fun as it was going and just keeping it natural. And yeah, and basically since then, it was like the month, I thought I'd give myself a month away from doing it. And that month then led on to, 3-4 months really, since recording the last one. And it's not like I felt pressured to get it done. It's just more so I've given myself that space. Other things have been going on. I've been looking at my priorities list. And now feels like the right time to record another episode. I did have a number of people lined up prior to this. It was hard getting dates organised with people. Sometimes there's a lot of travel involved as well. I really want to do this stuff in person. I might not be able to do it in person. You guys can let me know how you feel about that. I don't know. I like the in-person aspect. I do like that connection. I do like the fact that we're going to do it. We're putting that time aside. We're chatting about something. You know, we're finding out why people do what they do, how they do it, the purpose, the mission, the vision. I like that, and I feel like that comes out more in a face-to-face connection. But things might have to change slightly in order for that to happen. I do have a couple more still lined up that are coming in the next few weeks. One of them's a big one, in my opinion. It's one that I'm most excited for. I can't wait for it. I just think it's a really interesting story, and I think you guys are gonna love that. But yeah, it's been hard to get alignment with dates and timings to record more episodes. So it's just a case of giving that space, and then I thought, you know what, the next episode back, it's gonna be a solo one. When I done my last solo one, it was literally just an intro into it. It was just trying to keep it chilled and just explain to you guys what's happening. Sorry if this sip of my brew is unbelievably loud. I'm excited to listen to that back. It's scalding hot, by the way. So I thought we'll go solo and we'll just have a chat. In the recent months, since launching the Purpose Project, I have had, not a ridiculous amount of people, but a lot of people ask me questions around certain things. People always ask me about vision and mission, and people come to me for help trying to find out what they're trying to do, and that's always been a thing. That's been a thing ever since I was a coach, a PT. I think I give people a lot of clarity and a lot of honesty in terms of like direction, and that helps them a lot, and it helps me as well. And I think that's something that I've got naturally, but then I've also learned from people who support me and mentor me as well. So yeah, a lot of things have come up, and I'm currently going through a phase right now, and it happens pretty much every year, sometimes twice a year, sometimes once a year, like it seems it has this year, so to say, where I'm revisiting my vision, I'm revisiting my mission, purpose, values. What do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? What experiences do I want to do? What do I want to get out of life? What do I want to give to life? You know, reasons for living, purpose, all that shit. I'm coming back round to it again, and I fucking love this time. I love that bit where I go blurry away from the path I'm on. Sorry, that's wrong. I'm not away from the path I'm on, but things just aren't as clear, and then question marks have cropped up. Now that used to scare me, because I used to think, oh, I'm doing this and why am I questioning it? It doesn't feel right, and so on. Now I love it because I know what comes out the other side, and it's a fuckload of clarity and focus. Like, things get very clear. Pardon me. And I get very focused, and I fucking love that feeling. What I don't like is this little bit before it, so to say, where I've gone through a period of time, you know, after the ultra to where we are right now, and a lot's happened. A lot's happened at Urban Reform, a lot's happened at RF Coaching, a lot's happened in my life, and people around me, and that's just the way life is. But there's been an awful lot of growth in every area, and what I don't like is when I go through these periods of times and then things just aren't feeling quite right. I'm sure like you probably have experienced that, because I think it's pretty natural for people to experience this. And then there's that question mark, and there's the confusion at first. But then luckily now I'm at a point where I go, I know what it is. It's that lack of clarity in the vision. Something's changed. I'm feeling different about a certain thing. Something that I've been writing down on a regular basis doesn't feel right. So what am I going to actually do about that? So what I thought would be cool about today is like recap what's gone on in recent months, because so many good things have happened, and people who are listening to this, who know me, have probably seen all the good things that have happened to me and to the people around me in recent months. I do really feel like the teams that we've got are a bit of a force for improvement for ourselves and people around us, and I think that's amazing. So yeah, I want to share some of that stuff, but then I want to just like, this is called the Purpose Project, and it's about finding purpose. And I used to teach a lot of lessons around purpose and vision and meaning. And the reason why I taught that stuff was because years ago, I was inspired by the people who were mentoring me. Plus, I went through something that was very life-changing for myself. A lot of what I was reading was just reiterating the same stuff. It seemed like what I was getting taught from my mentors was being taught in 20 odd different books I was reading, and it was like, these are like natural laws, you can't escape this stuff works, it's just the way things are, it's the way life is. So if you do this stuff, you know, good things happen, it feels good, you support your basic needs and all these different things. So that sort of inspired me to actually teach it to others. And then at a certain point, I made a bit of a decision to step away from that again, to focus on my own personal bigger vision of growth with Urban Reform and so on. But I just think it's an incredible thing, and I feel like tuning into this episode and me sharing some of this stuff will spark something for a number of people. And I hope that's what happens, and I hope it sparks conversations as well. I hope people ask me. I think even if 10 people listen to it, I hope those 10 people message me and they're genuinely interested in finding out more about visions, missions, purpose, meaning, values, and how to actually figure that shit out. So I want to speak about that as well. So, bit of a long intro into the episode, but that's where I'm at. That's what's gone on in terms of like why I've not got another episode out. That's where I'm at in my life in terms of refiguring out or refocusing on direction and what's going on. And in terms of why I wanted to record this episode is updating you guys, but then also sharing the good stuff that's happened recently, but also sharing a little bit on how I actually go about creating visions, creating missions, and how I've helped other people do that in the past, and how I continue to help people with it now. So yeah, what's happened in recent months since the last episode? 100k ultra got smashed. It was fucking mint. I honestly thought I'd get completely injured and wouldn't be able to walk, and it'd be a nightmare. I thought it'd be an absolute struggle with my blood sugars and keeping going and all these different things. And even though it was hard, it wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I don't think it will be the hardest thing or come close to being the hardest thing I've done in my life. It was a challenge. I'm just incredibly grateful for the support system I've got around me. The boys who I was with during that 100k made that 100k very easy and very bearable for a number of different reasons. A lot of shit happened. You know, at points it was emotional. One of our friends, Adam, struggled with an injury, and that was shit. We didn't really want to go on without him, but you know, we did. I was incredibly grateful for the people around me, like I say, supporting me, just understanding, like when I was having a hypo during the ultra, which happened a couple of times because I was so exerted, just people were just like, cool, we'll just walk, and like, sweet, pressure was just off straight away, and we're just walking, and it's like, it's not a worry, I'm just going, moving forwards, there with me, is cool. Like that was, I know it sounds very simple, but just at that point in time, it's extremely helpful for it to just be like, right, that's what we're doing. And then when we were ready to go and run again, it was like ready to run, sweet, and we're all running, we're all moving. Very basic stuff, but just very like stuff that I was very grateful for during that period of time. And then it was just made it easy, like coming in to see your friends and family and then going back out. We didn't rush the rest points either. We were just kind of hanging round, having jokes about our family and that, enjoying ourselves. In the end, you know, after like 70 odd K or 77k, I mean, the funny part is, from like 70k onwards, it was just fucking uphill. And it was like, when is this incline gonna end? And it was just non-stop, and it was late. It was like fucking 8 p.m. or something. It's like, right, you know, we're gonna have to lock in here for this last bit because we're not finishing until like 1 a.m. And then I remember us getting a new lease of life. We were chasing this guy down who was miles ahead of us. He basically walks the entire thing and he was beating us. And that was so, like, to me, I was like, fuck off. I was like, I need to catch up to this man, because Phil here, who's just smoking us all, and we're like young fit lads running and then resting for time, but he's having a bite of a sandwich and just power walking back out. That just gave me pure motivation to catch up to him, and that was funny. Hearing Louis have a like stressed out moment at like fucking midnight, launching a flapjack into a field because it was just pissing him off, that was quality. Being spun round on those little things, the fucking playground, just give me a huge boost of motivation. We teed off with some fake golf balls as well. It was funny. It was just stupid. It was 100k of a small group of lads just being silly, cracking on, getting it done for a good cause, and hopefully inspiring other people in during that time as well. I feel like a lot of people take this stuff extremely serious, and that's cool. If you want to take it serious and that's the way you want to be, sweet. But I think if you watch the highlights from our ultra, you'll kind of just get the gist of things don't really have to be that serious if you don't want them to. And these challenges, yes, they're hard, but you don't have to make them harder than they have to be already as well. And I feel like that's a big take home from the way we done the ultra. So yeah, massive shout out to Louis and Dan and Adam for that ultra, absolute fucking legends. Massive shout out to my family for helping for that entire thing, and Louis' family as well, and my girlfriend Jem for supporting me. She always supports me no matter what I do. She's incredible. Yeah, everyone was amazing, to be honest, and I'm very grateful for them. So that was one big thing that happened. And then yeah, you know, since then the main thing's just been urban reform. Urban reform's been just blowing up. It's just so good. It's ridiculous, and we're growing from strength to strength. It's incredibly challenging, you know, because you're running multiple different businesses, and each one of these businesses needs different things. And right now we're giving the gym a lot of attention to get it to a certain point, and that's hard because you're trying to give it as much attention as you can without neglecting other areas of other businesses. But that is a challenge in itself. The growth, you know, listening to the members and what they want, you know, we do our best to implement that stuff, and that's hard because, you know, you need to have these conversations, and people want change, and change doesn't happen immediately. I feel like smart change doesn't happen immediately, especially. You can't just go and change something based on your own opinion. You've got your opinion, you've got your business partner's opinion, you've got your staff opinion, coaches, you've got members, you've got community, you've got friends, you know, mentors. You listen to a lot of people and then you make change. But yeah, there's a lot of change going on, and it's just getting better and better and better. The events that have been going on, the people who were there, the environment, the fact that, you know, how the timetable's grown, the coaches themselves and seeing them on their journeys and growing, the equipment we've got and how we're upgrading space continually. It's all amazing, and it's just getting better and better. And I've got very good feelings about how that's progressing. But it has been a challenge, but it's been incredible. And there it's just thanking the people around me again, the support systems, the coaches, the team, business partner, you know, Jesus Christ, the help that we get to make what it is, to make urban reform what it is incredible. And the members as well, like I say, they're all phenomenal. They're all incredibly understanding, because we 100% are not perfect, and there's a lot that we need to improve on, but they understand this journey. We try and communicate with them, and they seem to clearly understand this journey that we're on, and they're supporting of that. And I think, again, just something that I'm incredibly grateful for. So yeah, urban reform's growth's been phenomenal. Loads more little things have happened in between. What another big thing is the UR Games. Sorry, I'm just having a sip again. It's now better than when you're ill and you've got a cold and you're all bunged up and you're full of snot, and you have a drink of your cup of tea, and you're just like, that's well nice. Soothes your throat, calms you down a bit. I know it's probably not the best idea, by the way, recording a podcast when I'm sick, because I'm going to sound funny, and I don't know if you're going to hear mad noises from me just like randomly coughing or phlegming or whatever every now and again. Sorry about that, but now felt like the right time to record it, so it was getting recorded. But yeah, we had the UR Games, and again, just an incredible moment where we just bring everyone together from the gym and we watch them all compete, and they all send it, and some people do it for an absolute laugh, some people get incredibly competitive, and I'm just there watching it like, what is this? This is great. Like, this is exactly what we want. We want people coming together for a good cause, raising money for charity, supporting one another, having a laugh, making new connections, and just getting stuck in, just doing what they love. And that's exactly what happened over the 2 weekends. The fact that we had to do it over 2 weekends was incredible. That much demand and that many people didn't want to miss out on it, that we done it over 2 weekends. Like, that would have been a dream a long time ago. And I suppose the next big thing really, reform-wise, was the retreat. We spent 5 days away with 17 incredible people and it went down amazing. We went swimming, we went mountain bike riding, we went on walks and had talks and done breath work and stretched and sat by the pool and drank and ate loads, and we had top laughs, and it was mint. It was so good, and it's going to be something that we do on a regular basis. And again, just another moment of looking around and going, no, this is really good what we've got here. We've worked hard for this. And to just have these people around who are so supportive and helpful of one another and just mixing so well is great to see. So another thing we're incredibly grateful for. So yeah, I mean, like, so much has gone on. We're moving back into Hyrox. I've got loads of Hyroxes planned. I'm well on my way to achieving personal goals that I've set, which is incredible. The challenges that have come up in my life and in business and so on, and I know I've said this before in other episodes, and I've said it to people. I think I've said it on videos years ago. We're just at a point where the challenge comes or the problem comes, and it's just like, okay, it is what it is. We don't get overly stressed about it. We don't get overly anxious about it, and if we do, it doesn't last very long, and then we crack on and we get it done. And I just think that's a great position to be in. I love being in that position. That life is so much more smoother when you don't stress out about problems or challenges, and you just say, right, let's find the solution to it. It's just easier. So yeah, a lot of things have gone on. And I suppose it segues perfectly into this whole thing around vision planning and mission planning and talking about that. And yeah, I think I just want to share with you guys how I've actually gone about all this stuff in the first place, and the processes behind it, and then hopefully maybe spark a little bit of interest or inspiration or motivation for you guys just to have a look at this stuff yourself, because I just think it's incredibly beneficial to do this shit. Yeah, I just think good things come as a result of actually sitting down and thinking about this stuff. I feel like I awkwardly drank this brew then. I'm just going to finish it off. Big swigs. So yeah, vision planning, mission planning, this whole thing, the way I went about it is I've always in some way, shape or form set goals. Like, I think anyone who's sort of on the path to achieving or determined to achieve something in life will always just naturally revert to setting goals, and that's cool and that's good, but it's not the bigger picture. Because you can set goals and you can work towards goals, but sometimes when you get there, you didn't want to be there, and that's tough when you go through that, because when you get there, you've got the whole emotion of, I've just put all that time and energy into this and I didn't want to be there. And that's kind of what led me onto a different journey. There's a number of occasions where I've done that early on through personal training. My original goal, vision for my life was work hard for 6 weeks and then go on holiday for a week and do the same again. The way I visioned my life when I was 18 and running RF coaching on my own was, I'm going to work my ass off for 6 weeks and then I'm going to go on holiday for a week, and I'm going to do that again and again and again. I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, and that's the way I'm going to live. That didn't happen. Like, my life is nothing like that. Don't get me wrong, I go away a lot now and I compete in a lot of events and go on a trip whenever I feel like I want, really, which is still like the manifestation of that vision coming through in the long term. But the way I live now is completely different. I realised I didn't want to coach anymore. If I would have stuck to that vision and goal around coaching and then going away every 6 weeks, that would have just held me back, and it would have restricted my life, and it wouldn't have been the bigger picture. You know, I realised after a certain amount of time, I want to be a director, I want to be the visionary for a company, I want to take it in a direction. I don't necessarily want to do it all. I want to bring people together and I want them to do it, and I want us to all achieve something greater than we can achieve on our own. And that was a huge turning point. And the way all this comes about is like, you just need to sit down and give yourself that space and time to just look at, what do I actually want? What do I need? And yeah, what's nice, what's essential, what's non-essential, like what's significant, what's desirable, what are all these different things in my life? Who do I want to be? How do I want to act? The biggest one, which I used to teach in a mentorship program that I used to do, was, what do you want people to say about you when it's all said and done? And that's a deep one. I get that. I get, like, you know, funeral visualization. Let's picture ourselves on the deathbed, and you know, we're dead and we're at the funeral, and what are our loved ones saying about us? What's our community saying about me? What's my friend saying about me? What's my partner saying about me? What's my workplace saying about me? What things have I done? How have I acted? What's my character like? What contributions have I made? All these different things are what helps make your vision for your life. And in my opinion, there's no getting around that. That's the best way to go about a vision statement, or a vision document, or a vision drawing, or whatever the fuck you want to do, a whiteboard. If you want to start to create a picture for your life and you want it to be the bigger picture, start thinking about what you want everybody else to say you have done, or how you've acted, or how you were when it's all said and done. I think that's incredibly powerful. I've spent a lot of time on that, and I've revisited that multiple times. And what happens is you get like a core, like, I don't know what the word would be. You get a number of things that become your base for your vision statement, and that kind of stays. You get some things that are just non-negotiables, like they're in there and they don't move. But then you've got other things that change in form over time, and that's where the revisiting of the vision statements and mission statements come through. If you want to know the difference between a vision statement and a mission statement, by the way, a vision statement is what you want in the future. It's something that you're trying to attain in the future, something that you want to achieve in the future, whereas a mission is your purpose now. It's like what you live right now. And I remember in the first episode of the Purpose Project, I briefed over it. You know, I'm somebody who, you know, wants to be wealthy. I want to lead multiple companies and direct them. I want to inspire other people to grow and help others. I want to be somebody who's a family man. I want to have a lot of love and respect in my life. I want to be principle centered. I want to be clear. I want to be focused. I want to be mindful. I want to focus on my health, my diabetes management. I want good health in the future. I want a good lifestyle. I want to achieve everything I've set out to achieve. These are all things that are part of my vision. And then my mission is like, you know, right now I live to inspire others. I live to spark transformation in people's lives. I live to champion self-development and remind people and pull them back on track when they're falling off track of achieving their goals or the way they want to live. You know, I daily I act in a way to try and be of true value to myself and others, and that's the mission. You know, that's the purpose. This type of stuff is why I actually get up in the morning. It's why I turn up on the days where I feel like absolute shit. It's why I'm recording this podcast right now when I feel ill. It's like it doesn't matter what it is. It's the shit that gets me through anything. Whether that is a life-changing diagnosis of a health condition, whether that's doing 100k ultra, whether that's, you know, going through a life-changing experience with your loved ones, your family. It doesn't matter what it is. this type of stuff just keeps me going no matter what, and it's a good thing. It helps others, and that's what's so powerful about having a mission. And vision and mission, you know, if you don't have clarity of where you're actually going to and the reason why you're going there, well, no wonder why you feel lost in life, and no wonder why things don't feel right and everything's a bit confusing and it doesn't add up, and 1 minute you're doing this and 1 minute you're doing that and you never seem to get anywhere. It's because you just don't have the direction, you don't have the reason to go in that direction either. You need both. It's simple as that. Yeah, and it's the same with the mission. It's like the mission is like, it's a core purpose that you cling on to. Your vision, your statements for the future, all said and done, like I said before. But the mission's like, what's in there? Like, what's strong enough to keep you going? Like, to double down on, to dig deep. I do think it's incredible when it's about yourself, and I think it's incredible when it's about other people as well. Everybody's mission statements are different, but I always believe that a mission statement has to be something that contributes to a wider good for other people in order for it to be of value to you long term. So you're sitting down and answering those questions and just really delving into it and getting draft one, getting version one, and whatever that looks like. You know, when I've mentored people in the past, and you know, when I've helped people, and when I've done my own, I've got drawings of vision statements, I've got bullet point lists of vision statements, I've got spider diagrams, I've got loads of questions, I've got stuff that I look at and you know, it don't make me feel good when I read it, but I understand how important it is on reflection. And I've got stuff that I read and I think that's incredible. I can't believe I even wrote that down at that point in time. And it is a fun experience if you can take it lightheartedly and not get too deep with it, and not press yourself too much to produce anything perfect. Just produce something. Get draft one, and then what you've got to do is just go back to the drawing board and you go to draft 2 and draft 3 and draft 4, and fuck knows what draft I'm on right now. You know, I'm back in my journal again. I'm back rereading some core books that have like I've had a huge impact on my life and the way I do things. I said it on an Instagram post the other day on a story. You know, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey just gives me a different lens. Like, boom, it's like immediately different lens. The second I actually do that on audiobook rather than reading it, hear his voice, I find it inspirational, I find it incredible. I love the switch up in the way he processes things and does things, and the constant changing, adapting, the risk taking. I think it's an incredible book, and that book seems to always be a spark. Atomic Habits, the thing which helped me organise my life. I don't know how many times I've read that. I've read it so many times. I've taught so many lessons on it. This book, 7 Habits, incredible. Basically what I'm saying to you right now, that's probably one of the core books for it. If you haven't read it, read it. Read it. Don't just read it, study it. Read it, study it, implement it. Watch your vision for the life you are aspiring for start to come to life over years and years of compounded effort. Same with Atomic Habits, same with the lens changing, same with the green lights. That philosophy of, you know, when a red light comes up, you know, a death, a breakup, an injury, a severe health condition, it might be red light at the time, but what you find is over time, pretty much every red light turns green if you're on the journey to achieving the life you want to live. It's impossible for it not to in order for you to get to where you want to be. Yeah, there's so many other books like Man's Search for Meaning. I've read that numerous times. Deep Work, Anxiety Cure, Start With Why, Find Your Why. Books on belonging, tribe, 4 agreements, understanding 4 key actions. Like, there's so many books that I reread because they have a powerful impact on my life, and that's what phase I'm on right now. I'm at a point where I'm revisiting, I'm rethinking, and I'm recreating what my current vision is and mission and values. I think what's exciting about this version for me this time round is I've never really had a huge urge to do a lot of experiences, but now I do, and that's incredible because now it means that when I actually go down to revisiting this in more detail and I create it in the upcoming months, probably gonna have a list of things that I'm like really looking to do in the next year or two or however long. And I don't know what those things are yet, but I do feel like there's a number of experiences that have popped up in my head where I'm getting more like, yeah, I want to go and see and do that. And it's becoming more and more important to me. And I think that's what's going to be really interesting for me this time round, setting these vision statements and mission statements and goals and values and so on. And yeah, I go through that process. The other side of it is I speak to people. Selfishly, like just doing this is helping me create a better vision and mission just from speaking about how I go about things right now. It's the same with talking to friends, talking to family, putting it out there, getting feedback, understanding how other people do things, even speaking to strangers. Like, you'll be surprised what you can get from a conversation with a random person. Just these different lenses help you so much. It's incredible. So yeah, it's another big thing where, you know, after you created your drafts and you're happy with it and you think, oh, it's pretty cool, like, I'm ready to start working towards this. Run it by a few people, talk about it. Don't be scared for them to be like, oh, why are you doing that? That's weird. And because some people are going to be like, that's incredible. Oh my God, I'm so impressed you've done that. That's amazing. You're going to have both sides of it. No matter what the reaction is, it's going to point you in a direction that's hopefully going to be closer to where you want to be. So yeah, go through all that stuff, have those conversations, and then you've got the bit that most people fail with, and this is where I think I'd probably say 95% of people don't do this bit, and it's probably the most important. You've done all that work, and your compass now understands what your version of true north is to you, where you want to be, and it understands it right now. But how are you going to stay on that? How are you going to stay accountable to it? How are you going to work towards it on a regular basis? And when it comes to the goal setting, people start to break down and they don't complete the goal setting, they get confused, they get overwhelmed, they don't know how to do things, they don't seek advice, don't seek guidance, they don't have anyone to be accountable to. And then before you know it, a month later, the breakthrough you've had with your vision and your mission is gone, and now you're back where you was. And you might eventually go and do a vision and mission statement again, but if you don't get past that goal setting phase and you don't create a strategy and an action plan, and then you're not accountable to that strategy and action plan, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough having a vision or a mission. You've got to have a lot more than that. You've got to have a lot of action to go with it. But you can't have, the action without the vision. You can't have the vision without the action. Like, it all comes in one. It all adds up. It's the total sum of it is greater than all of its individual parts together. And that's what's amazing about going through this process, and that's why I love it. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into goal setting. We're not doing all smart goals here and all that type of stuff. But you get the key point there. You understand that you can have a vision and you can have a mission, and you can create something incredible, and it can inspire you, and you can want to work towards it and give you a reason to get up in the morning and do what you want to do and help others. But if you haven't got an action plan and you don't stay accountable to it, you're not getting there. So the process I'll go through is I'll revisit this stuff, I'll get all this stuff together, it'll take me a little bit of time, I'll run it by people, we'll have conversations, I'll come back, I'll reframe it, I'll then go into a planning state and I'll be like, these are the goals, I'm going to achieve them step by steps, what I'm going to do, what's the deadlines, when they're going to be done, who I'm accountable to with all these different things, and then I get cracking on. And then what's going to happen is, in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 years, I don't know how long, this will probably happen again. There'll be a certain point where I feel like things aren't aligning. So I've gone on that journey for as long as I could. Maybe I veered off slightly, but something's not going to be right. And I'm going to go, sweet, let's get back on this again. And it's a constant cycle, but rather than just being all over the show and not knowing what direction I'm going in a direction. Sometimes I'm veering off, but then I'm getting back in that direction again. And I'm just getting closer and closer and closer to where I want to be. And I suppose the final thing I want to leave on there is, after a bit of time, you kind of start to feel like, and hopefully this makes sense, you kind of feel like you're already there. So you're there now, in this moment. Everything you want to achieve is achieved, in a sense, and it's all within you, and that's cool, and that's okay. And it literally becomes just something of choice. Like, it's nothing is impossible anymore. Everything's just a creation from yourself, and you're choosing whether you go on that destiny, so to say, or direction. And when that really started to come through to me a couple of years ago, I just felt like that was incredible. Like, that's an amazing thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that life can't hit you and shit can't happen and whatever it might be. And maybe this vision statement, you don't get there, so to say, in the end, because something terrible happens for you, because God knows what could possibly happen to you in life. But that whole feeling around that, of it just being attainable and achievable, is a complete mindset shift in itself. And I don't know, it just makes you, it makes me work towards these things better and enjoy the present moment more as I actually work towards them. God, I've talked a lot there. This is a long one. Guys. Right, what I'm going to do is, I'm wrapping it up there. I've spoke a lot. My throat's sore. I've got a headache. I'm hoping that people who tune into this enjoy it. I'm hoping that people are excited for me to actually sit down with someone soon. I'm not going to say who, but sit and chat with them, grab a brew, find out what they do, why they do it, how they do it, what's the vision, what's the mission, what's the purpose, what's the life-changing things that they've gone through to get them from where they were to where they are right now. I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are excited for that. I really hope that when you've listened to this, you've got something from this as well, in terms of vision statements, mission statements, achievements, goals. And I hope people who have thought about asking me more questions on it, like I say, don't get me wrong, I'm not the know-it-all on this. I think these are natural laws. He says it in this book. This stuff was figured out a long time ago. I'm not the creator of this, neither is anyone else that teaches it. It's just the way life is. I hope that if you are wanting to ask questions, and you do want to speak about it, I'd fucking love to have those conversations. Because I love speaking about this stuff. It's what excites me. So to message me if that's the case. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Apart from that, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next episode.